Hey guys, welcome back to Techno Web Hack. This is Parikshit here, back again with a new video. This is another tutorial for our SSH and SSH Security Series. So this is the third video in the continuation of the series, and in this tutorial we will see the SSH Key Based Authentication. So we will see how we will create the SSH keys and how we will send it to the server machine from our client, and how we will automate our login from the private keys or using a public key, and we will not need a password to enter for login, and instead we will simply use our private and public keys to communicate with each other and get access to SSH. Alright, so this is the SSH key based authentication concept here, and this is a very secure way of accessing the SSH. And here, as we will not need to provide the particular password, so how it will work is you will have to simply create a particular RSA public and private key, where private key will be into your client machine from where you are accessing, and the public key which you will have to copy it into your server machine. And once you have your server machine with the public key of our client machine, so that will have a communication between them, and once you try to access a particular SSH server, so we'll get a SSH login by using these keys, okay, and will not need to enter the password. So this is the very good way or method to prevent the password attack or brute force attack on the SSH, as here we will not use the password. Instead, the login will happen by using the public keys. So I will show you here how we will set this up. Okay, so first what you have to do is, if you are using the particular Linux machine, you will simply have to type SSH-keygen-t for type and the RSA. Even if you are not typing -t for type RSA, you can simply type SSH-keygen, and the particular key by default it will be created, where the two files will be created. One will be public key and one will be private keys. Okay, and then simply you can use this command as SSH-copy-id and the IP of your server. Okay, so that particular key will automatically go into that particular server and it will copy over there. Okay, so instead, if you are not having a Linux machine and if your client machine is a Windows machine, so in that case you can manually copy this particular file from your Windows machine to your server. Okay, so in that case, as we are using this particular Windows machine for here, and so here we will be doing the manual copy of our keys. So first I will show you how we will create the keys. Okay, so SSH-keygen, and before that I will show you what is the path of this particular folder. So you will have to go into particular C drive users and the username, and here you will see .ssh folder. So here you will see currently there is only one file as a known host, and now I will just create the particular SSH keys. So SSH-keygen and -t for type and RSA to mention this particular type. So I want the RSA type keygen keys, so I will say RSA, enter. So it is generating the particular private and public keys. Here it is asking me to enter the path where I want to save it. So by default this should be the path, and this is the same, it is already given, so I will simply press enter. Here it is asking me to enter the passphrase which will secure your private key even more, where when you are trying to access a particular SSH server, it will not only access it via the public key, but it will also ask you the password of your key as well. So in that case, if you want to provide, you can provide it the password for that particular private key, or you can keep it blank if you just want a direct login by using the keys. Okay, so I want the direct login by using the keys, and I will say enter, and I will say enter again. You can see the private and public keys will be created into the same particular folder. You can see now there are two files created. Okay, so you can see the extension over here. The type is pub file, which is public file, and it does not have the pub or any other extension or file name over here. So you can see the ID RSA, this is your private key, ID RSA, this is your public key. Okay, and what we have to do is we will have to copy our public key into the server. Okay, always make sure that you will not copy the private key, and you will only copy the public key into the server machine, the home folder of a Parikshit user, and here into the Parikshit folder you have to go to the .ssh. If the folder is not exist, you can just create it by using a right click or using by command prompt or the terminal, and then double click that, and here you will see the folder is currently empty, but this is where you have to copy that particular file from your Windows machine. Okay, so now I will copy this particular file into that particular folder, and for that we can use the scp command because we already have a login to this particular server. So scp, and then I will just have to provide the path, or you can drag this particular file here like this. You can see the particular path, okay, scp and this file, and I will just provide the particular username at the IP. So the IP would be ifconfig, and this is the IP that we have to type over there. So this is it, and the path where exactly I want to put it. So home Parikshit, and there is a folder called .ssh. Inside here I want to give a name as authorized _keys. Always make sure that the file name where we are typing all this content, that should be always authorized keys, and I will show you in the configuration file how it is. So enter, and the password of the particular user. That's all. The file is copied. You can once again verify it by using by coming into this particular server, and you can see that I have the authorized keys. Okay, when you can always check the content of this particular file also. Okay, you can see Parikshit at Parikshit. So this is the content of your public key. I'll just close it. All right guys, so that's all. You have copied the file successfully, and always make sure that the name of the file is authorized keys. And next thing what you have to do is you have to make sure that the particular permissions what you have given to this particular file should be like this way. So in the document what we have here is, so always make sure that the permission to the user.ssh folder should be 700. Okay, and you have to set the permission to the file as a 600. Okay, so 700 for the .ssh, and I will just copy it from here. Okay, so let's say like a copy, and I will just come into this one, and I will just paste it over here. You can see chmod 700 for this particular folder. Okay, so this particular user should be the username. All right, and then 600 for all the files inside that particular folder. So I will give just a star over here, so that will apply to all the files, and that permission should be 600 here. Enter. That's all. So once you have it, you have to also make sure that the group and the user should be same as username. So when you go to this particular home and Parikshit user, okay, you have to check the ls-al so that all the files should display. So the owner is Parikshit, and the group also should be Parikshit. This is what the user what we are accessing, and the user owner and the group name should be the same. And also make sure that once you go to this particular .ssh folder, you can always check all the files here, so that should be also with the same ownership. Okay, alright guys, so this is it, and we have also given the permission to this particular file as authorized keys, and we have given the 600 permission to this one. If everything is set up properly, we should be able to connect to the SSH without any password. So that's all. Now we will try it. Okay, we have copied this particular file into the particular SSH folder. We have given the permission as well, and what you have to do is you have to just make sure the authorized keys file is there, and authorized keys file is what we have created already. And I will just make sure once again into this configuration file what any other changes that you have to do here is nothing. You have to just if you want, you can enable some parameters, but without enabling the particular parameters also that will work. So I will simply enable it, RSA authentication or public key authentication, and the authorized keys file path, that is .ssh, and authorized keys. Okay, this is what we have exactly given, and that's all. I will just Control O, Control X, and I will just restart the service because I modified the particular file. Okay, alright, the service is restarted. I will just make sure the status is running. Alright, the status is active and running, and now I will simply try to access a particular Parikshit user from this particular client machine. So SSH Parikshit at. Alright guys, so enter. You can see I have successfully logged in without providing any password here. So when I type the SSH Parikshit at 192.168.225.62, which is the IP of your Ubuntu machine, you can see it didn't ask me for any password. Instead, you can see it has already given me the welcome banner, and I am into this particular Ubuntu machine without entering the password. Okay, so this is how the public key will work. Okay, when you have the public key into your server machine and you have the same private key, and when you're trying to access it from your client, that particular server, so that will work like this way. So this is the very good way, or to prevent, very good method to prevent the brute force login or any password attack from your SSH server. Alright guys, so this is just, I wanted to show you how the SSH login will work without providing any password by using the keys, and this is called the key based authentication. Okay, I have also guided you about how the keys will work, okay, by coming into the server machine, and how you can then access this same server by using your client machine. Alright guys, so in the next videos I will show you how we will use the brute force attack on your SSH server, and then how we will prevent it by using a fail to ban service. Alright, so this is it for this tutorial. So I hope you like this video. If you like this video, please hit the like button, and please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so that you will not miss the next videos that are going to come. And also, if you want to access this particular documentation which I have already made here, and which theoretically it can help you to understand how to proceed, how you can do it step by step. So I have already mentioned all the things over here, so you can get it on my website over here, which is technowebhack.com. So you can visit this website as technowebhack.com over here, and you can check the lot of other tutorials as well which I have already made, and all the documentation part you can get it over here. So like, suppose if you want to access this one, you can just click on it and you can access any of the documentation part over here. Okay, you can also check the videos as well which I have already uploaded in this particular tutorial. Alright, so you can visit this particular website and you can get access to all my documentation, which the books I have written, and whatever the videos I have made, and the complete documentation, you can get it over there. Alright guys, so this is about it. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and bye bye.